I'd like to introduce our first student this evening. Her name is Kaylee Benedict, and her title is this: The Importance of Health, Simple Principles that Lead to Health and Happiness. Let's welcome Kaylee.
Picture this. You have just come home after a late night from work. Upon entering your house, something almost instinctively happens. You grab your favorite snack, slump on the couch, and turn on the television. All you feel like doing is nothing. Day in and day out, this same cycle seems to repeat on, endlessly. This is not the story of just a few people, but of most Americans today. The healthcare system has made more and more money over the years from people who choose to live unhealthy lifestyles. The CDC states that 1/3 of American deaths occur from heart disease and stroke alone, costing our healthcare system a whopping $214 billion per year. How has this happened, and can it be stopped? The problem of unhealthy living has come about by people choosing to live as they want. Unfortunately, many of the easy or entertaining ways to live can be extremely unhealthy if kept up. Thankfully, there is a way to stop and sometimes even reverse the negative effects from poor living habits. Because many Americans choose to live an unhealthy lifestyle, the healthcare system itself has, ironically, stepped down and contributed to the present problem by providing treatment options designed to soften or cure the effect of insalubrious habits. Why do people choose to live unhealthy at all? The answer is quite simple. Life is short, so people decide they want to live life enjoyably. Isn't it more enjoyable to just sit around, eat junk food, and watch television or waste time on social media? These activities sound way more fun than eating bland food chock full of nutrition, jogging around the neighborhood, or even getting to bed early. The real fact is, living poorly ultimately leads to a shortened lifespan along with numerous detrimental side effects, such as dementia, depression, poor exercise tolerance, diabetes, and heart disease, to name a few. The only way to have a better health outcome is to change the lifestyle one is living, and a person will only be able to change their lifestyle if they are self-motivated. Motivation to live healthy oftentimes comes on a person because they feel they are struggling with a decreased quality of life. This will help set them back on the path to health. There are 3 basic elements of preventative lifestyle principles that should ultimately be followed: good diet, adequate exercise, and sufficient rest. These, along with other closely related habits, lead to healthy, nourishing effects. These principles have been soundly scrutinized and tested to be the best alternatives for regaining and maintaining health. Science and the Bible both concur that the basic principles of diet, exercise, and rest are some of the best changes to make that will lead to health. People who follow the basic principles of health find themselves happier, more energetic, satisfied with self and others, in control and in charge of their emotions and thoughts. If lifestyle habits are changed for the better, a person will live longer, happier, and healthier. One way health will benefit a person is through happiness. You may say, well, okay, how does a healthy body lead to happiness? Good health makes people happy for a number of reasons, including acquired physical abilities, outwardly beauty or handsomeness from staying fit, and it produces endorphins for feel-good benefits. Assume you have been taking health principles from a book and are applying them into your everyday life. Over time, you start to notice great changes in yourself. You can run faster and further, you can lift heavier weights, and muscles you have never seen or felt before are making a delightful appearance. And you feel great from being able to successfully follow your health principle book in every way. In short, you are happy. Health will have amazing effects and outcomes on the body, especially with regards to happiness. Since health brings the amazing benefit of happiness, a person should consider striving for health to become happier in life and more content with themselves. Diet is mentioned in the Bible numerous times. One particular story from the Bible that first pops into my head is the history of the Israelites. as they were being led by God through the wilderness. God gave them manna to nourish and provide for their hunger and nutrients. All too quickly, the people demanded for something different to eat, meat. God knew what would happen if he honored the people's demands for an overabundance of meat. He gave them quail in spite of the foreseen consequences, and they soon suffered from all the common illnesses that ensue from bad eating habits. Great health benefits came from the manna, while only negative effects emerged from eating the surplus of quail. The Israelites doubted God's meal plan and received its consequences. Every year, you and I can probably testify to this story when we celebrate Thanksgiving Day. After a plentiful meal of meat, starches, and delicacies, don't you always come from the day just feeling plain miserable? Why is this? Because we eat unhealthily. We overstuff ourselves, eat too fast, and eat junk. I do not feel happy or satisfied after eating a Thanksgiving meal, only overstuffed and regretful of my decisions. This is an experience that proves eating unhealthy foods without moderation brings on unwanted consequences. Science has found that unhealthy people usually eat excessive amounts of fatty, high cholesterol, sugary foods, which promotes a poor lifestyle. Forming these bad habits will be detrimental to a person, shortening their lifespan and making them both unhappy and unhealthy. But if a person lives by good diet habits of using unprocessed, less fatty, and nutritious foods, along with using temperance, they will thrive and flourish. One of the biggest factors in unhealthy eating is the lack of temperance. Having too much of a good or bad will only produce negative effects. There needs to be a moderation of eating, not too much and not too little. Using temperance will help to make a person healthy. A second way health will benefit a person is through regular exercise and physical activity. Most everyone here has probably made a New Year's resolution that revolves around exercise one time or another. Unfortunately, that resolution probably did not last all that long before it was forgotten or pushed back for another time. The Bible mentions exercise rarely, but when it does, it notes its importance for bodily health. Physical activity is a needed aspect in society for health. In Bible times, for example, an individual's trade usually consisted of hard labor and work that took the place of physical activity. Today, though, most jobs revolve around technology that can make our lives and work simpler. Therefore, exercise is needed. Frank W. Booth, a doctor who has spent time studying and researching on exercise, wrote that a lack of physical activity affects almost every cell in the body by causing harm. The only valid scientific therapeutic approach to fight off negative effects is by daily exercise. Staying healthy will greatly benefit a person in the long run. Why not be more active and receive the free gifts of health? Now imagine you are starting to come to your senses. Everything appears to be as dark as night, but then slowly turns brighter. You start to breathe in the aroma of fresh spring air you perceive as traveling through the window you left slightly open the night before. The birds sweetly call with unique, melodious song. Your eyelids suddenly flutter open to receive the welcome beams of light flooding in your room. Your eyes slowly focus to make out the fixtures around you. You suddenly feel awake, lively, and ready to start your day. This is how people would feel if only they got enough rest at night. Rest is highly needed and important in a person's life. It works to give the body a chance for a break, to rejuvenate tired muscles and the mind. Sadly, rest is yet another main factor in health that is often overlooked. It can be overlooked for a number of reasons, including the common excuses of being too busy or just not feeling all that tired at night. The truth is, everyone needs sleep, and the closer a person gets to the right amount of sleep will help that person to stay healthy. Since rest preserves health, can affect one's happiness, can prevent common illnesses, and is comparatively simple when compared to diet and exercise, why not try to fix your personal sleeping schedule to get the sleep and benefits you need? Now, why should we, as Christians, strive to be healthy? Is there a purpose or a reason to live healthy? I understand that as Christians, we should take care of our bodies by living healthy. The Bible talks about physical health in 1 Corinthians 6:19 through 20, when it says, "Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and you are not your own? For you were bought at a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's." God desires that we, as his faithful followers, should strive to be healthy. The purpose of living healthy is to honor and glorify God with the bodies he has given us. Now people may ask, does healthy living really matter? Some people claim that living healthy is impractical and is more difficult than it seems. Aristotle correctly summarizes human tendencies when he accurately states, "We therefore choose the pleasant as a good and avoid pain as an evil." In other words, people would rather take the easy route around or out of hard obstacles instead of overcoming them. Can conforming to healthy lifestyle changes be unproductive, unrealistic, and maybe even unnecessary when so many treatment options are accessible to correct our unhealthy choices? Take genetics, for example. They can pass down hereditary traits that may be unwanted and unhelpful when trying to stay healthy. An example of this is the unpreventable illness of type 1 diabetes. This genetic makeup makes it hard for a person to live the same as other people. If they choose to live a bad lifestyle of poor food choices and no physical activity, not only will they struggle with diabetes, but also from their bad choices. Genetics make it difficult to pursue a healthy lifestyle, but in the long run, it will provide a person with great health benefits. It is all worth it. Bad habits are another aspect that people struggle with when trying to follow a healthier lifestyle. Now imagine you are back at work. Your coworkers gratefully leave a candy dish full of chocolates for you. Every day it sits on a counter close to your desk. It is not your habit to eat these chocolates excessively, but one time you had a stressful day and you consoled yourself with chocolate. You start eating these chocolates whenever you have a bad day. Before long, you need chocolates every day. A person can make negative choices and not even realize it because of the habit they have formed. While living healthy can be very difficult, it is rewarding and not at all impossible. If an individual is desperately wanting change, they will choose to change and not just talk about it. Eventually, over time and repetition, healthy choices will build their way up into healthy habits. The sooner you start, the better. One other counterclaim concerns the simple medical treatments readily available for quick fixes. Why not take these treatments instead of trying to actually live healthy? Why put all the time and effort into maintaining health if the negative effects from a poor lifestyle could just be covered up in a simple and easier manner? Treatments can be effective and efficient in quickly softening unwanted effects from a poor lifestyle. However, treatments always contain the possibility of having side effects, and they are usually very pricey. Changing bad habits will usually be better and more beneficial than taking, for example, non-essential medications to preserve health. Non-essential medications may be practical for that short moment of time, but in the long run, healthy living is more practical and will be of most benefit. Most treatments only cover up the problem and they don't fix it. Therefore, the person is still unhealthy. Why not get rid of all the possible side effects and preventable illnesses by living right? Overall, living a healthy lifestyle is achievable. Science and the Bible talk about the many benefits of healthy living and give guidelines on how to live right. Following foundational health principles is a key to health and happiness, and God's will for our lives. Although living right takes more effort than living lazily, the outcomes are worth it and not impossible. Once good habits are formed, healthy living will not turn out to be all that difficult. Why not take on the challenge to change for the better? Is not this the time to stop thinking about changes that could or probably should be made, and instead to take action to become healthier? As the famous Nike quote says, just do it. Thank you.